back.
Yes, we
The
are.
Run
Duo.
I'm Tommy Mitchell.
And I am India Cook.
This week,
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm crazy excited.
Listen.
Number one, we in a fancy studio. We're not in the basement.
Y'all don't see the house. Y'all don't see the medals behind us this time.
We're in the fancy studio, care of Tess. But we have 3 of the founding members of the race with us in the studio to talk about, which is coming up fast.
Yes, it is. You know I'm counting, right?
Yeah, I know you count because you're running. You're trying to get that record.
Don't say record.
Three of the founding members of the race in studio with us today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Go ahead.
Hi everybody, this is Tess Sobo Meehan Marshall, your happy, friendly race director.
Hello, this is Shanta McMillan, your assistant race director and score and timing.
And this is Darrell Patterson, liaison for the Elite Athlete Program.
There we go. Oh my goodness, this is great. This is great. I'm excited. We got a lot of questions.
We have a lot of questions, and hopefully we'll be able to answer some of the questions you all have, or for some of y'all that may be questioning if you should sign up for the race. Hopefully we can get you out of your indecisiveness today.
Exactly. How much time we got left, Tess, till that day?
Less than 4 weeks.
Less than
It's coming fast and furious.
But see, even with less than 4 weeks, even if you have not trained all year, you got time to train enough to do a 5K. At least, I would say.
Yeah, that's safe to say.
Now, the great thing about the race is this is year 2. Not a lot of races make it to year 2. A lot of them, that one and done kind of thing. This is year 2 of the race. So I wanted, first off, for people who've been living under a rock, have no idea what the race is, can somebody just kind of tell us how the race began, what's the race about, what made it so exciting last year to be legacy like I was?
Yeah, Darrell, you start.
All right, well, I'll cover this one. I'll try to be brief, but the race basically was birthed from the running community. It's an idea that people have been talking about for a very, very long time. And back when I was co-host of a podcast, Real Runners of Atlanta, the conversation came up often amongst me and my co-hosts, and also the guests that would come on the show, who were leaders of the run groups around the nation. So basically, those conversations from the podcast ended up moving over to discussions.
So much for airplane mode. Thanks, Jay Reed, if you're listening.
I'm sorry, we got phone calls. But those conversations just escalated to a unity panel discussion, eventually conference calls. And then eventually Tess just said, look, man, I'm tired of talking about this. Let's go ahead and get it happening. So,
yes,
yeah.
And I mean, I do remember, what were the shirts that you guys had on the first day? What did they say on them? Doers or?
Yeah, so dreamers and doers, and we had dreamers crossed out.
Yes, I love that. Because definitely, I think this race is something that I think probably every African-American runner has thought about. Like, we really need to have our own race. We really, and you're right. People talk about it all the time.
You talked about it all
the time. I did. I talked about it, and I was just talking. I ain't gonna lie to you. But you guys,
You just throw out the ideas out there, but you don't want to put the work
I throw
into
the
it.
ideas out, and I let people pick them up. That's all
but
I
it
do.
was funny because you kept talking about it. Like, I think it was like around September you would say it, and we were like on the verge of about to announce it. We were like, Tommy, just wait, we got something for you.
It's coming.
So, and of course, I was really, really excited once it did come to fruition, and you guys did the I'm sorry, what was it when you did the money
Kickstarter?
Thing? There we go,
Yes.
Kickstarter. There it is. I told you I don't write anything down.
I knew what you meant by the money thing.
Yeah,
The money thing.
But you
did
did.
the
You were
Kickstarter.
backers.
Yeah, I was
Right.
a
We
backer.
were both backers.
But yeah, we were both backers. But yeah, the Kickstarter, which was unique for a race that I'd never seen. So you were innovating right off the bat with this. So you guys put it together. It gets going the first year. I ran the half the first year.
Same, half
Marathon the first year. Great time. Great medal. I had not trained like all year, and I finished it through those hills because I had to have that legacy medal. Now we're going into year 2. What is the difference? What is going to bring people back besides just the fact, of course, that it is, black owned, supporting black businesses, that sort of thing? What's going to bring people back in year 2 over year 1?
Well, first of all, like Darrell mentioned, this is a race that was birthed from the want, the desire, and need from the African American running community. We're not in the business of just putting on a race, just put on a race. So when the running community said they wanted this race, they pledged their registration fees through our Kickstarter campaign. They signed up when we opened registration in 2018, and they traveled from all over the country. I think we had 35 states represented. That really let us know this is something that the people wanted. So we put together what we wanted to be a world-class event, something that you could be proud of, that you can, get your jacket, your finisher T-shirt, your patch, and be proud all year long that this was a race that takes place for us, by us. So, and not to toot our own horns, but we really hit a home run in year one. People came, we had a great time, we had beautiful weather, we had, runners from all over the country, walkers, volunteers, businesses, everything that we talked about in the Kickstarter campaign and all throughout 2018, it came to fruition on, I think it was October 13th last year. So, honestly, year two is just, continue to build on what we established. We built a legacy, and our theme for 2019 is Impact and Elevate. We talked about how we wanted to continue to make an impact on the communities that we're running through, and then also take it to another level. But we didn't want to say take it to another level.
Right.
So this is literally a conversation Darrell and I had, like, okay, what's going to be the theme for 2019? And we just talked about continue to make an impact, make a greater impact, and elevate, and see if we can get more runners, more representation, more eyes on the race. And let me tell you, it's still surprising to me how many people have not even heard about the race.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah,
I
that's
still definitely
not a
still
lot
do
of
that.
difference, but just doing everything just a little bit better.
Okay. Now, speaking of impact, something that I think about, because I ran the race in 2018, I think about the area of town that we run through. And within that, you'll see, we saw people standing outside on their porch, and they're like, what are you guys doing? Like, they were really asking questions about what we were doing, while we were running, what was going on. And I feel like that in itself is impactful. So can you talk about a little bit more about the course? Are there historical areas that runners will be running past that will be very significant for this race day?
Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, we're running through Southwest Atlanta, so not to be a dead horse, because I know I made a point of this last year, but the truth is there are no half marathons that take place west of the connector and south of 20. And so for those of you that are not in Atlanta, while Atlanta is a very diverse city, geographically the southwest portion of the city is mostly black folk, and a lot of times you don't see events like this taking place on that side of town. So I think just being able to put on an event of this magnitude that's coming from our community and is specifically catered for our community, that in and of itself is historic. But outside of that, you're going to be running through a lot of obviously historically black neighborhoods. We touched on Castleberry Hill area, where you have a lot of, like, a huge scene, the art scene is growing and developing there. In fact, the artists that created the mile markers last year are all from that Castleberry Hill district. We run by the AUC. West End and Westview, which I personally call like the new growth of the vegan, plant-based, black-owned restaurant
Holistic,
scene.
everything.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that there. So and then you're on the newly christened West Side Beltline. So you're going to touch a lot of historically black areas. You're going to see a lot of people that are going to remind you of yourself, your mom, your dad, your auntie, your cousins. So that vibe is going to be there, where it's basically like a big cookout in motion.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely saw that. I saw some ladies out on their porch with their robes on.
Yeah. We're trying to get them back out again.
Yes.
Trying to get them back out.
Yeah, and just to expand a little bit on that, goodness gracious, let's push end on that call. Just to touch a little bit more on the course, the other part of it is that we want to make sure that those neighborhoods see us.
Right.
These are areas that you don't see runners just going for a casual 2-3 mile run. And we've done some neighborhood group runs all throughout the year, where we go to the neighborhoods and just have like a 3 or 1 mile walk run, so that those neighborhoods are starting to see more people. The Beltline is a great resource, but we want to run in the neighborhoods, on the streets. Like you said, we want to see the old men out there saying, "Go girl,
Yes.
I see you out there." So it's been really fun, just kind of introducing running to a new area of town, because we are running City USA,
Right.
here in Atlanta, and that does need to include other quadrants of the city.
So can you speak a little bit on, I know that a lot of the all of the sponsors are African American like owned businesses. Can you speak a little bit on kind of the how you all found those sponsors, and maybe if you're able to list a couple of those that will be given back to?
Yeah, so we have intentionally targeted Black-owned businesses to participate in our Small Business Expo, as well as be the lead sponsors as corporate sponsors for the race. So we have corporate sponsorship includes at the top the Vibranium level, and we are the first and I believe only race to have a Vibranium level sponsorship.
Nice.
And those slots have been taken the last 2 years, proudly by Citizens Trust Bank, as well as the H.J. Russell and Company, which includes a host of Black-owned businesses that do millions of dollars in revenue across the nation, right here, that are founded right here in Atlanta, including the H.J. Russell Construction Company, Concessions International, and a lot of the Castleberry Hill neighborhood was built by H.J. Russell and Company. So we're very, very proud of those two. Also Jabari, which is not a Black-owned business, but they're a company that's doing event management and emergency services for huge races like Boston Marathon. And they wanted to be a part of what we were doing here in Atlanta and build with us. And then we also have, again, a host of small businesses, anywhere from the butters, we got the Shea Butters, all the way to your local jewelry makers, people who are selling African-inspired products. So just, I don't have time to list all the vendors,
Yes,
There's a
there's
lot.
so many.
just know that our expo is going to be not like your typical race event expo. It's going to be just a collaboration of beautiful businesses, people that, some of them are runners. We have a couple of our vendors that are actually runners that are running the race on Saturday. And then also just support from the local businesses and community as well. So we do have some ally business partners, not necessarily Black-owned, but extremely supportive. Reach out to us and said, we love what you're doing. We know this is something that is needed and wanted in the community. And they recognize the power of the Black dollar, which is something that we hope that the race can exemplify. I'm proud of the fact that we are making an impact on Atlanta's economy
Of course.
in our 4-day weekend.
Mhm.
We have sold out a room block at the Embassy Suites. We have people flying to Atlanta from all over the country. Over half of our participation is out of the state. So, that's big. We want to make sure that is highlighted.
Right, definitely. And speaking of that, of course, there is a half marathon as well as a 5K. So tell us where those numbers are right now. We're a little bit less than 5 weeks out. So where are the numbers as far as registration?
All right. Well, we have a big announcement to make.
Oh,
Shanti, you want to?
Come on, Shantae. Step up to
I
the
am
mic.
here for
Thank
it.
you. But as of today, we have reached 1,400 participants.
Wow.
We need our little hand clap.
Yes.
So we are extremely excited about that. Of that 1,400, I think we are probably around maybe
A little under 700 5K.
and then a little over 550 for half
No,
marathon.
a little over 700. Don't
700?
forget the Black Friday
Oh,
folks.
I keep forgetting about them. Yeah. So
We
yeah,
got that Black Friday
yeah,
special.
keep forgetting about that. So
Yeah, well, that is awesome, and there are still spots available. And I know that in your email blast test, you always talk about the VIP experience, and there are still spots available for that. Tell us a little bit about that VIP experience for people that are wanting to get that extra touch for the race.
Yeah, so the VIP experience will include, you get a gift bag when you pick up your registration. You have your own registration table, packet pickup table. But the big perk for VIP is race day. Race day, you get the indoor area, the indoor restrooms. We're hoping for beautiful weather again, but in the event that it's maybe a little chilly, you get to hang out indoors before the race instead of standing outside and waiting for the start corrals to open. Also post race, there's going to be food, drink, massage, just treat you like a VIP like you are. So it's definitely worth the extra investment. I think we have about maybe 30 or 40 spots. Or by September 15th. So September 15th, we're going to cut it off just so we can get everything ready and order everything we need to order. And it's just a great experience to have, and a little bit more easy access to everything because it's a smaller group of folks.
Okay. And VIP price right now?
It's $50 as an
Okay.
add-on to your registration. So
Definitely
yeah,
for the
if you've
indoor
already
restroom.
registered, right? It's
That's
worth
it,
it for
Tommy.
us.
Indoor restroom.
Oh, let me tell you, last year was so funny. I happened to be standing there when, when everybody was starting to go, and somebody was like, I need to go to the restroom. And I was like, ma'am, are you VIP? She's like, no. I was like, the important products are around the corner.
Right.
And then another lady walked up and she was like VIP and walked right in. So I think that like sold it for that particular participant, right?
Yeah.
I think I was one
Yeah.
of those last year. I was like, what?
So it's definitely
Totally worth it.
definitely worth it, yeah. But like I said, if you have already registered and you want to add VIP, you just simply go into your registration confirmation. It's an add-on purchase, and again, September 15th. That will be the last day you can add that. So
Okay.
And September 15th is also a price increase for the race. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Final price increase. So
Okay.
you're gonna have to drop 100 on the half marathon if you wait until the 15th,
Mm-hmm.
and 40 on the 5K.
Okay.
So,
Well, we know
yes.
we have a lot of procrastinators,
Yes,
but
we do.
we've
So
been
we appreciate
been
the
shouting
extra
it out.
donations.
Of
Yeah.
course. the extra.
Yes.
Totally,
Yes,
totally
indeed.
understand. So for a person that is racing like me, I am going to be racing the half marathon, and I kind of been stalking the page to see when the Pacers are going to be announced or if they're going to be announced. Tell us a little bit more about that. Have y'all designated people that are going to be doing pacing this year? I didn't do a pacer last year.
Yeah, so we have an awesome pace team assembled, and we will be announcing them probably in the next week or two.
Okay.
But basically, right now, your pace teams will start at the 145, and then every 15 minutes. So 2 hours, 2:15, 2:30, 2:45, 3, 3:15, 3:30, and then we'll have a back of the pack party in the back group. So.
Nice.
You can pick your pace, and what I like to do is I find the pacer and I just try to stay ahead of them. I don't want to see the pacer. Like I'll be turning over, I'm like, okay, there they go.
That's a good idea.
That's what
I
I
haven't
do.
thought about that.
I let the Pacers chase me.
Okay.
But whatever your strategy is, the Pacers will be announced, and then at the expo on Friday, October 4th, you'll be able to come and meet your pace team lead, and then maybe even talk to them about strategy. If you have a goal, it's good to go and just meet your Pacers and let them know, hey, I'm really trying to get that 2 hour. So, you know what, they'll give you a pep talk, they'll let you know their strategy. And all of our Pacers will be running even split, so it's not going to be like we're going to try to crush the first half and then, pick it up in the second half. But to the best of their abilities, they will be running an even split throughout. So you can really use them to reach your goals.
Yeah, definitely. If you're trying to set a PR, like somebody I know, it's good to use a
You're looking
pacer.
over here.
That's how,
It's good to
you
use
know
a
it's,
Pacers
pacer.
make
you know it's
me
happening, right?
nervous.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
I know what's gonna happen,
See,
but I'm
this
just
is
saying
different 'cause
Pacers make me
The
nervous.
chances are you probably know your pacer.
More than likely I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like you just running with a friend.
But everybody's the way that they pace is very different. Kind of like you
Mhm.
said, like even splits or not. I work well with someone hollering at me. If you're not gonna holler at me, then I'm gonna be like, okay,
Yeah.
fine. So yeah, Pacers make me a little nervous,
A
but
little nervous.
hey, we'll
I
see.
got you.
We'll see. I've been thinking about it the last couple of weeks, so that is something
Oh,
that
I
I've been
mean,
thinking.
don't worry.
It's
We gonna
good
hit
to-
you right
to-
with that show right before the race. Ooh,
It's
we
good
gonna
to
get
know
into you.
where they are on the course. That's how I
Right.
use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to get too close and
Right.
intimate with them. I just like, okay, I see you.
Yes.
Well, we get to see how it really goes
Oh,
down.
okay.
Right. We do this back and
Well,
forth.
no, okay, then let me just ask. I'll just ask a question for myself personally. So, transferring. Like, if I needed to transfer mine to someone else, is that available? So, like, if I need to transfer my number.
Thank you for asking,
Mhm.
Tommy. That's been the question the last couple of weeks. I think people are starting to get that reality check.
Mhm.
So transfers and category changes, let's quickly address all that. So the first thing is, if you want to transfer your registration to another person, that can be done through your registration confirmation. Everyone, as soon as you register, you receive a confirmation email and you receive a receipt. On the
Mhm.
confirmation email, there is a little hyperlink that says transfer to someone else, and that's how you initiate a transfer. But here's the key to a transfer. If you registered in April for $75,
Yeah.
you transfer it to someone, that person is going to pay what the race costs now, and you're going to be refunded what you paid.
Oh.
I've seen some folks out there promising discounts. Folks don't promise a discount to folks, okay? So unless you want to reimburse them for what you, the difference. But that's how a transfer works. It's all done through active.com, nice and clean. Like I said, you get refunded what you paid. The new person registers a brand new registration, but you're basically releasing your registration for that person.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And it is extremely important. I'll go ahead and take this for you, Sean.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
That people register and participate under their own name, okay?
Okay.
And I'm making this as a PSA to all races across the land.
Mhm.
Running under somebody else's name, it just causes all kinds of problems, y'all. well. Not
Yeah.
only in the scoring and timing, but heaven forbid there's any
Some
kind of medical
injuries,
issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
please, 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 do not just give someone your bib and say, oh, just run under my name. It's free to do the transfer, but again, you will have to pay that difference.
The other person
The
will
other
have
person
to
will have to pay the
pay
difference.
the difference.
And then category changes,
Mhm.
very the same thing on your registration confirmation. So let's say you decided you wanted to upgrade to the half marathon.
Mhm.
So you'll have to pay the difference of whatever the price is from what you paid to what it is now. Or if you downgrade, unfortunately, you don't get a refund on what the difference is. But you can change from a 5K to a half marathon. And same thing, please, please, please run the correct race.
Right.
Because it just messes up the results, and then I'm standing up there looking like Bobo the Clown.
You're
Talking about
announcing people
Darrell
that-
Patterson won the 5K in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
He was out, yeah.
And then you have a male who's in a female category.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they looking at us like we crazy.
Yeah, definitely. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so, and then that's for all races. I mean, a lot of people don't even understand what a timing chip is.
Yeah.
You know, we had one lady, and bless her heart, I hope she's not, listening. I'm not gonna say her name, but we found her pictures from the race last year, and she must have ran through the finish line like 6 times, but didn't actually run the race. So she ended up getting first place because she, I guess, started the race and then just hung out at the finish line,
And
waiting
and
for
then
people.
ran through the finish line, took pictures, but there's no record of her actually like completing the race.
Right.
Oh my God.
And so
Wow.
it just, so, we want to make sure that our results are, accurate and they stand the test of time and history. So please just make sure that you perform those transfers and category changes.
And you have until October 1st to do that on your own, but
Okay.
then you can come to the expo and handle it there if you didn't do
Yeah.
it before the October 1st deadline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And,
Great.
and a little savings tip, if you do want to transfer your
Mhm.
registration to someone and they not pay the fee,
Mhm.
for the folks who are listening, you can do that at the expo, and we're not going to charge you the
Okay.
difference. We don't care about what happens between you and the person.
I gotcha.
There's just a $10 fee to do the transfer.
Right.
So,
Okay,
Yeah.
understandable. Now, also, course rules, I guess. Strollers, dogs, whatever. What are the course rules?
yeah, I mean, we don't recommend it.
No.
There's going to be a lot of people out there.
Mhm.
We're not going to yank you off the course if you
Mhm.
have a stroller, but it's not a stroller-friendly course.
I gotcha.
And dogs, leave Fido at home, y'all.
Yes.
We love.
You're gonna be panting
Yeah.
and struggling.
Right, and there's just a lot of people, and
Mhm.
people think their dog is great, but you don't know
Not
how other people
everybody
feel
else,
about
yeah.
your dog.
Exactly.
And like I said, when that dog start running up that last hill, he gonna be mad at you. So just leave Fido at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And speaking of the expo in regards to transferring and everything, because I know there's a lot of people coming from out of state. If people cannot make it to the expo, what can they do about that?
Yeah, so great question again. We have an 8-hour expo. So if you absolutely don't know anybody else who's running the race that can pick up your bib for you, because someone can pick up for you, then you can email us at info@theraceuc.com on race week, and we'll figure out how to get your bib to you on race morning. But again, please exhaust all options. Anybody can pick up for you. We just want to make sure race morning is smooth, and when the race starts at 7 a.m. So we
Yeah.
don't have a lot of time from the time we get there
Mhm.
to the time the race takes off. So we want to make sure that everybody's got everything they need and ready to roll. So
Yeah, and if you're coming, this is the first time you're running the race, just from last year, get there early.
yeah.
Get your parking spot.
Yep.
Yes.
Because I remember
Parking
there
will
were
be much
people.
improved this year
Okay.
too.
People
Yeah.
were trying to get in,
Yeah.
as we're taking off, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're trying. So just get there early.
Yeah.
Just make it easy on yourself.
We've made some great connections in the neighborhood for parking, so
Mhm.
that will not be an issue this year. I
Mhm.
promise. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
And do they need ID or anything if someone else is picking up the bib for them? What's needed?
I always say have the person's race confirmation just in case there's any discrepancies. Like the biggest things we'll see is like someone registered under their maiden name and the person's picking up under their new name.
Mhm.
So just have it handy. But I mean, we have not experienced too much bib theft in our time putting on races. It's more so just make sure the information is correct, and then you'll know their size, their t-shirt size, and all that. So you're not standing there texting them saying, "Hey, what was your name again?" Or da-da-da. So having the confirmation is helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Darrell?
No, I was just laughing at the idea of someone picking up a bib and not remembering the name.
Right.
Trust me, you laugh, it happens.
Tall
Really?
dude, he asked me to get his bib.
Yeah, this
You
white
know,
guy.
it's usually like husbands picking up for their wives' friends.
Mhm.
So the wife will be like, "Can you pick up Jane and Barb's bib too?" And he
Yeah.
don't know
See
Jane
that.
and Barb's last name.
Mhm.
He's like, "I'm here to pick up my wife's bib and her friend." That's usually the common,
Okay.
or like I said, the maiden name, married name thing happens all the time.
Mhm.
Yes, so just be prepared, you know. And I always tell people, like, you know, we put on races all throughout the year, and we pride ourselves on being that like one race that will kind of educate you on how this whole process works. So if you have questions, you know, we're happy to answer them. And everything that we just talked about is on the website. We have updated the frequently asked questions tab on the raceuc.com, so you can go in there. Anything that's not there, shoot us an email and we'll put it on there so we can make sure you have a smooth process. It's all about making your experience nice and smooth.
And I'm sure it will be, definitely. On the course, how often are they water stations? Are they just water? Are we using power? What, anything beyond water that will be on available for the runners?
You want to take that one, Shanti?
Sure.
She's in her own world.
Yeah, Shanta like,
okay,
I'm
when
trying to stay out the spotlight.
No, she's like, when
For
I
those
get
of you
home.
watching on Facebook, she's right here, y'all. Trying to hide.
She's over there.
I'm behind the scenes,
She's,
y'all. I'm not the-
she's thinking about what she has to do when she got to follow clothes. I gotta start that
I
stew.
can be a little off, but I'm like behind the scenes. But no, we have actually we have 7 water stations out there on the course. There will be water and Gatorade at each of the stations. What else?
Porta potty at every
Porta potties
station.
at each station as well. And then we have 6. I think we have 6 medical
Yeah.
points on the course as well.
And they'll be combined with the water,
Water station, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have plenty of EMT and volunteer out there for medical. So yeah.
Now I remember last year, I think one of the water stations I remember, it had the ATC people. So is it
Yeah.
certain groups that are going to be
Yes.
doing the water stations?
Yes, so we have groups at each water station, and then new this year, at every mile, there will be a group or a charitable partner.
Mhm.
So we're calling that program the Race Milestones. So we reached out to hundreds of nonprofits and charities in the Atlanta area and say, hey, would you like to adopt a mile? So every mile and every water station, you should see some type of group or cheer squad, which we're really excited about.
Okay.
Like,
We're on
we're
mile
just,
2.
yes, that's the goal, because we're trying to create the hypest course in the Southwest. What is it? Southeast region.
Southeast.
Yeah,
Southeast region.
we're gonna
So-
take Southwest too.
Right. So I know there's a lot of people that are training for some of the major marathons that are within the fall, as well as running the race.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about race course time limits, if there are any? Because I
Well,
know
in-
some people are a little nervous. Some people are
Including us.
okay.
We are actually going to be in Berlin the week before the race.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Shanta and I. So
Yeah. Last
Y'all-
year I
when
did
y'all are
Chicago
sending
the week
those-
before, and it was.
When y'all sending those last minute emails, please note that your race directors are in Berlin. We're going to try our best to respond.
Okay.
But no, we think the timing of the race is perfect for those who are doing fall marathons, whether it's before or after. So you think about, like you said, you did Chicago last year, and then it is recommended to keep your running going a little bit. You don't want to completely just drop off like I do every time I do a marathon. I'm like, I'm out for a month. Like,
Likewise,
yeah,
and then I'm struggling
like,
to get back
you
on.
definitely don't want to like take, going out there and trying to crush it, but
Mhm.
being able to participate and get that kind of long run, shakeout run. I mean, how did you feel doing a half the week after?
I start feeling it about mile 9. I was like, oof,
Yeah.
I feel that.
But it was
pull,
okay
but
for you to walk, though,
Yeah,
at that
it was
point,
fine.
right?
It was okay
Yeah.
for me to walk, and I still met my personal time goal that I wanted, so it was
Yeah.
fine.
And then for those who it's leading up to your to your marathon.
Oh, it was perfect
I mean, it's
timing for that,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, like New York,
To
I
see
think
where
it's
you're
like literally like 3-4
Like a month,
weeks out.
yeah.
Yep. Chicago, depending on how you taper. But I wouldn't recommend racing it.
Right.
I would just say come enjoy the experience. So what
Yes.
do you think about that, Daryl, as far as from the training perspective?
I mean, I'm a big fan of racing a half marathon before my marathon, and I think that, like you said, it's about a month. Shit, it might be a little bit, maybe 5 weeks before New York, and like
Yeah.
3 weeks before Chicago.
Yep.
I mean,
A week before Chicago.
A week before
a week
Chicago.
before
This year,
Chicago.
yeah.
Okay, so no, yeah, if I'm running Chicago, I'm not gonna race
Yeah.
the race.
Mhm.
But definitely for New York.
Yeah. And I know some folks that are doing Philly, soldiers, like